So I saw something today to finish off the game that I don't know if I've ever seen before. Were you guys watching the game by any chance?
We had it on in the studio, yeah.
Okay. Literally, this is how the game ended. I don't even remember who was. I think it was Revis maybe at the plate. I don't know.
I think it was, yeah.
There's a runner at third. They'd already tied the game up in the ninth inning, so it's a tie game. And the pitcher pitches. You couldn't tell if it hit the bat and it went foul, or if it hit the batter and it's a hit batsman. Either one of those scenarios, the play is dead, right?
Yes.
Foul ball, plays dead.
Yep.
Hit by a hit pitcher, plays dead. Lance Barksdale, God love Lance Barksdale. He's a man after my own heart.
It's like, I didn't see nothing.
He let it go as a wild pitch.
Yeah.
The runner came in from third,
over.
And the game was over. It was not even, in no world was it a wild pitch.
No.
And this was a game, like I mentioned, like 400 pitches thrown in the game. 22 at bats, went 3-2. Michael McGreevy looked good. I mean, it was fine. He gave up a home run on his first at bat. They were actually, here's something interesting. They were accidentally using batting practice balls at the beginning of the game.
They weren't rubbed up.
No.
Yeah.
So that first, and the wind was like really blowing out to right field. So first at bat, gives up the home run with the BP balls, and then they realize it, and he goes the rest of the way without giving up much of anything. I thought Bryson Motts looked pretty good. He worked 2 innings. His first inning of work, he got himself into some trouble, but I love that he got himself into trouble because the situation that it then created was it was either runners at second and third or runners at first and third, lefty at the plate, 2 outs. That's exactly what you want Bryson Motts to face. Even if he pitched himself into that situation, that's what you want to see. So that was fine. I mean, look, I'm stretching here, guys. There's not a lot to. This was not a overly compelling day of Cardinals.
Today reminded me a lot of the kind of games I see coaching 14-year-olds during the summer.
You know what's incredible? Because we, in the Palm Beach area, we share this area with the Marlins, Nationals, Astros, and then kind of the Mets. The Mets are like 45 minutes up the road. But those first 4 teams I mentioned, all within 20 minutes of each other. So the vast majority of your games are against those teams. The Marlins, no matter who's in charge, no matter who the manager is, no matter who the general manager is, it doesn't matter. I could go become the owner of the team. It wouldn't matter. They are a fundamentally terrible baseball team. And the Washington, yes.
Yep.
Like, I'm not saying that the Cardinals are God's gift to like fundamental baseball in the first 2 days of games in the Grapefruit League, but to compare right now and historically, like, I don't understand why the Marlins every single year put together just an absolute masterclass on how to not play baseball.
It's a great point because that's the one thing teams can do, even if they have like a $25 payroll or whatever.
Right.
They can catch the ball, throw the ball to the right place, run the bases with some intelligence, not running into outs. I mean, the fundamentals are always there at every level of baseball, big leaguers, little leaguer, Kevin Wheeler's team, whatever. There's no excuse for that. You're right. I don't blame you for being kind of impatient. That's one of the bad things. Listen, I love spring training, man, but all those spring trainings I logged down there, it was annoying to see the same teams over and over again, but especially the Marlins.
Yeah. And the Nationals are not adding to that this year because the Nationals might be the worst team in baseball. There's like actually a little bit of juice to go along with the Rockies this year. I think the Rockies they go from being completely terrible to just terrible. And if that's the case, the Nationals could be the worst team in baseball this year.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. And in fact, there's been some buzz with the Mackenzie Gore trade that they could be moving like Abrams at some point later in the year. Like basically with all of their guys starting over, because I think Washington has the youngest staff. I was listening to my buddies on MLB Network Radio, and they were just there. I think it was Jim Duquette, who's not a bomb thrower.
Bowden and Duquette were in the Cardinal clubhouse today.
Yeah, and Jim is like not a bomb thrower. He's a very level-headed guy. And he described Nationals camp walking around and seeing coaches that they thought were players because the whole staff is so young. Like everybody there is young. The manager, the front office, the whole deal. So and that's not because it won't be bad because you're young. It's just a signal of where they are in their process and basically starting over again.
I look at the Nationals and the front office they put together, the manager, the coaches, as you guys alluded to. And I'm not even trying to be a smart aleck here, but it's so obvious. See, there are different types of rebuilds. We ought to get into that sometime and like just say there's this one, that one, this one. There's like 4 or 5 different types. Their type of rebuild is really a rebuild because they're basically just destroying everything, and they're taking it down to the embers and to the wood shavings. Nothing's going to be left. And they'll actually consider their season a failure if they don't lose like 105, 107 games. It'll be a total failure for them.
Yeah.
Because they want to be able to just do, get the first overall pick if they can. You know what it is. I'll shut up now. I made my point. Sorry.
No, you're right. There are different ways of doing it.
It's interesting. I know people don't want to hear us talk about the Nationals, but they are going to get nothing out of the Juan Soto trade.
Basically.
Yeah.
I mean, they got well, you're not going to get anything competitive. They'll probably, I'm guessing they'll try to keep James Wood. Like that'll be the guy they try to extend. But if you're him, are you extending early on a team that's in their second rebuild since you got there? No, I mean, like he's the guy you probably keep. And they like Dylan Cruz and all that, but yeah, they're nowhere close, and their farm system's not good. I mean, they're really kind of in a thin place right now. They are more of the full take as opposed to rebuild. And then what the Cardinals are, and it's just like a normal, I guess I would call it a normal rebuild, where you're getting rid of old guys, but you're not getting rid of everything. And you had some young guys already. I mean, guys like Joshua Baez and Rainiel Rodriguez and, Liam Doyle, these J.J. Weatherholt were kind of in it before you actually committed to a rebuild, even though last year, would you guys agree, was the pregame to the rebuild?
Yes.
It didn't actually really go that way, but it was kind of the pregame to it.
I think this is actually a really interesting topic because on a slow news day, because, it's interesting because you're right. It's a good way to put it. The Cardinals definitely are in a real rebuild, but they sort of got a head start on the rebuild by going through a little bit of a dress rehearsal last year.
The runway season.
So they're officially starting their first rebuild, even though they're not calling it that. And to your point, yet you look around and they've already got, according to ESPN, if you had the Donovan trade, the Cardinals have 6 top 100 prospects.
Yeah.
They've got people on the way like Rainiel Rodriguez, are going to be like really good major league players. They're already in kind of like the early stage 2 of the rebuild. And I don't even know how to define stage 2, but it's not the worst part of the rebuild.
Yeah, you're not in the beginning.
And I don't I've been looking at these teams that have gone through serious teardowns in no chronological order, but like the Astros, the Orioles, the Cubs, the Tigers. And they were all burdened or just totally messed up with like 100 lost seasons, multiple ones, right? I don't believe I'm being a Pollyanna here. I don't see this as a 100 loss team, the Cardinals in 2026.
No.
I'd be really, really, really surprised if they lose 100 games.
I would agree.
I'm with you. I think the win-loss record will be very similar to what it was last year. Pitching's a little bit better, hitting maybe a little bit worse. Maybe some guys take step forward offensively, but 75, 76, 77 wins, like barring something kind of crazy happening, I think that's what they are. And that's not a playoff team. That's not a 500 team. That's not a division winning team. It might be a team that's still kind of in the mix for a playoff spot deadline time, depending on where they are getting the vast majority of those, 77 or so wins. But it's not what we saw from the Rockies last year, and it's not what we saw from the White Sox 2 years ago. That is a different level of bad than what the Cardinals are going to be.
Absolutely.
I think so.
All right, we got a lot to do today. Even though it's a pretty slow news day, we haven't had a chance because we weren't on the air. It happened after to talk about the addition of Ramon Urias, who is a utility guy who bats from the right side and does hit left-handers. We'll talk about him. Rainiel Rodriguez gave us some fun stuff over the weekend to talk about as well. J.J. Weatherholt, we got a lot to do, so stick around. We got Bernie Miklasz, Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here on Redbird Rush Hour.
Did you see the forecast? Another huge storm is tracking right for us.
I saw. Honestly, I'm not worried.
Not worried. Your roof is older than mine.
I called Happy Roof. They did a pre-storm inspection, caught a loose flashing that would have caused a major leak.
Wow, I really need that peace of mind.
Protect your happy place before the rain starts.
Booking my free inspection at thehappyroof.com or call 314-897-2310. It's all about the happy ending.
Create the ultimate raised bed garden with St. Louis Composting. Our premium compost and soil mixes are perfect for filling the raised beds you'll enjoy building, and even better for growing fresh, homegrown veggies. Imagine harvesting your own tomatoes, peppers, and cilantro for fresh salsa the whole family can enjoy. And with delivery right to your door, getting started has never been easier. Visit stlcompost.com to order a convenient delivery from your phone in seconds, or stop by one of our 9 locations in the St. Louis area. St. Louis Composting. Growing gardens and making memories.
Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins just to run your business? Ah.
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more, so you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part, they accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Traffic from the MichaelsFloorandOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, if you're heading home on westbound Highway 70, we've got some slow traffic right now, backed up actually at 94 out towards Zumbo. It's open up as you approach Zumbo. That was due to a stall they cleared to the shoulder. T.R. Hughes out through Highway K is backed up. After that, it's just a little slow past 61. Southbound 170 bogs down at Ladue. Westbound 64 is pretty solid from Kings Highway out to Clayton Skinker. It's a little slow at Lindbergh, west of Clarkson to Top Golf, and just briefly at 364, so not that bad going that route. 270 both ways between Olive and Ladue are kind of slow, and southbound is still busy again from 44 down to Gravois. Southbound 55 Arsenal to Bates is a little heavy. Southbound 67 Buck Creek down through Meyer Road is still pretty heavy from an earlier crash. Eastbound 64 approaching 157 Midway 159 is still slow in the construction zone. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
But my lips are turning blue. Are they fast?
My darling, Jerry Kelly can install a new furnace tomorrow, no matter what day tomorrow is, even if we call late at night.
You are my hero.
They're fast and they're good and they got it going on. JerryKelly.com.
Now, back to the Redbird Rush Hour on KMOX.
It's Monday on the Redbird Rush Hour. Bernie Miklasz, Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Of course, Matt down in Jupiter. We didn't get a chance to, guys, on Friday talk about this because it hadn't happened on Friday. But over the weekend, we find out that the Cardinals have added the right-handed bat that we've been talking about throughout a lot of the winter, that Chaim Bloom's talked a lot about, and that is infielder Ramon Urias. So, Matt, why don't you kind of lay out the position that Chaim Bloom and Ollie kind of laid out once Urias was brought in, and we can kick it around a little bit.
Yeah, the big thing is he's not an outfielder. And all offseason long, we had heard Chaim Bloom talk about wanting to bring in a right-handed bat that can play a little bit in the outfield. Well, they've been pretty pleased with what they've seen defensively in the outfield so far from both Jose Fermin and Thomas Sajaci. I think there's a good chance that Jose Fermin is the opening day left fielder for this team if Lars Nootbaar is out. Excuse me. Depending on maybe it's probably him or Nathan Church, depending on righty or lefty,
and
but
who does well in spring. And all that. Yeah.
So once they get those two right-handed bats that can play a little bit in the outfield, it creates enough flexibility on the roster that it's not as important that the right-handed bat they bring in can play the outfield. So they like Urias. They think he provides some pretty good defensive depth on the infield. He's a former Gold Glover. I think it puts a little bit of pressure on Nolan Gorman because they said, even though they don't treat him this way, they said they don't view Gorman as being a super splitty guy where they would platoon. We've heard different things. We've seen them operate differently, but the stats back up what they're saying. Gorman is not overly splitty during the course of his career. Yeah. So, the words that came out of their mouth was they didn't think that this was going to impact Nolan Gorman's playing time that much. I think that has to do with how, because now all of a sudden there is another legitimate option at third base.
Yeah, and I think one thing, it gives Ollie Marmol some flexibility because Gorman, I can't sit here and lay out the grid of like how it'll happen, but if they want to give him some DH games, he can DH, things like that. Maybe Burleson plays a little outfield. Burleson has the day off. Gorman wouldn't play first base, but somebody else could, and then he could DH. There's some ways to go there. No, but I think that's one little unknown, relatively speaking, unknown fact about Gorman. If you look at his major league splits, the whole time he's been in the major leagues, like he's literally league average against left-handed pitching.
Yeah.
If you want to use weighted runs created plus, he's 100. That's literally league average. So he's not as splitty as people think. But I like the move because this is a guy that, joined the Orioles at a time where they were rebuilding. And he actually played a really strong role in being in that clubhouse with a lot of young guys. Not that he was old, but he was someone that sort of went out of his way to help the kids as much as he could. And they give him a lot of credit. I was doing some research. They give him a lot of credit for being such a valuable guy in the clubhouse and all that stuff. And if you look at 2022, that was the Orioles' first winning season since 2016. Then in 2023, they won 101 games in the division title, and then they follow up with 91 wins in the wild card. And he wasn't along for the ride. He played a lot of games over those 3 years. And when he started a game, they had a really good record. Like they never lost anything by playing him. He actually made them better. So I think, guys, to my opinion, is like no one, including me, is trying to sell this as some big home run move, but it's a really solid, really sensible, low-key move. And I thought Chaim Bloom did a good job, even though he kind of gave us all the head fake a little bit and went infield instead of outfield. That's part of the entertainment. Chaim Bloom was he put one over on us or something. No, I'm only kidding. But what do you guys agree, disagree? What do you think?
When we were texting about it over the weekend, Matt and I my only worry, but this is where I have to check myself and on a lot of topics, my worry is that veteran takes away from guy who's 25, who you're still trying to figure out, right? I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to see Weatherholt lose opportunities. I don't want to see Gorman lose opportunities. And the infielder part is what caught me off. But then after texting with Matt, but then also, kind of noting Fermin and Sajaci, if we think about taking them and making them more utility guys rather than infielders, it can work a little bit better because they were going to find at bats for those anyway. If those at bats for either of them come in the outfield instead of the infield, then it kind of balances out. But I just hope the only thing I worry about is whether or not it cuts into other guys because he's a veteran and he's right-handed and the other guys are lefties. And I just don't want to see guys turned into platoon guys when they're in their early to mid-20s.
Yeah, I think there's two things here. You can look at it in the terms of like whose roster spot is he taking, and you can also look at it in terms of whose playing time is he taking. From a roster spot standpoint, at least until Newt Barr is healthy, feels like this probably hurts Cesar Prieto the most. He's probably the guy that misses out on
or maybe Church.
An opportunity. I think they're going to go in the regular season with Church. I think he's they're all in on him.
So if they're it's those two guys, Church, Urias, and a catcher. I mean, there's only going to be 4 bench spots.
Yeah.
Wait, no, that's not right. That's right. That's 4. There's 4 bench spots.
I would have to put it down on paper. I'm not smart enough to think through it in my head.
I get you, dude. I totally get you. It's a lot of names, man.
Yeah. So that's that's one part of it. I think they just have to be disciplined. And look, we can trust Chaim Bloom, right? Like, can we?
That's what we're learning to do. Yeah, you're right.
Yes, we can trust Chaim Bloom that they keep saying that when they have decisions to make that can either benefit the long term more or the short term more, they're going to make the long term decision.
Good point.
They've done that over and over and over and over again. So I am going to give him the benefit of the doubt. They wanted a veteran right-handed bat. And by the way, just another opportunity to remind everybody that's listening. When Chaim Bloom says something, there's truth to it, because he said all offseason long they wanted to bring in a right-handed bat. Now, he talked about it from an outfield perspective, but then things changed with JC and Fermin. All the people on our chat who said, oh, they're not going to bring in a right-handed bat. Oh, Nelson Velasquez, that's for sure going to be the right-handed bat, and maybe he makes the team still. But not nobody, but so many people just automatically said, this isn't going to happen. They're not actually going to follow through on this. Well, Chaim says he wants a right-handed bat. What does he do? He goes and gets a right-handed bat.
Yeah.
Listen to the man when he talks.
Right.
He tells the truth.
Everything he laid out during the offseason, it happened. Yeah.
Pretty straightforward. Yeah. So listen, I know we got to break wheels, but I share your concern, and maybe I'm being Pollyanna here, but will the new guy eat into Gorman's at bats? I think to an extent, but what would you consider to be, because I don't have a number in mind.
Yeah.
Like, in other words, what would you consider to be, all right, he's playing too much. He's taking away too much time from Gorman. I got to get my head around that a little bit and try to figure that out. But I in principle, I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah. And I don't know that it's going to happen. I got to get past that. The only thing that's the same is the manager, and we don't know what input the front office had in some of the things we saw in the past. So I got to kind of play that out. As long as Gorman's a full-time player, I'll be fine. I won't whine. I'll be able to let it go. All right, real quick, we got to take time out. When we come back, we're going to talk about more of the kids, more on J.J. Weatherholt, more on Rainiel Rodriguez, who looked really fun in a game the other day. We'll talk a bit about two of the Cardinals' top prospects when we come back on Redbird Rush Hour.
The Missouri Valley Conference men's basketball tournament has been the showcase for buzzer beaters, madness, and championship glory. With nearly 5 decades of heart-racing excitement, it begins here at Enterprise Center. The 2026 State Farm MVC Tournament, presented by Credit Union One, Great Southern Bank, and SSM Health, tips off on March 5th through 8th. Celebrate 50 years of the Valley's postseason championship. Get your tickets now at archmadness.com.
At 5:30, the news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. We've got 31 degrees downtown at the Arch. This just in, FedEx is the first to sue the U.S. government seeking a full refund of money paid for tariffs, which were ruled illegal by the Supreme Court last week. It is the first such suit by a major American company. A legendary skier had a close call at the Olympics.
Lindsey Vonn says she nearly lost her left leg following a frightening crash at the Winter Olympics.
Oh, well, guys, after 2 weeks, I finally made it out of the hospital.
In an Instagram post, Vonn said the trauma from the crash led to compartment syndrome in the leg.
Compartment syndrome is when you have so much trauma to one area of your body that there's too much blood and it gets stuck. And it basically crushes everything in the compartment.
High pressure restricts blood flow and can lead to permanent injury if not treated quickly.
Dr. Tom Hackett saved my leg. He saved my leg from being amputated.
Hackett is an orthopedic surgeon who works for Vonn and Team USA.
He cut open both sides of my leg, kind of filleted open, so to speak.
Vonn underwent multiple surgeries during her stay in Italy and broke her right ankle in the crash. I'm Ed Donahue.
Legislation considered in Jefferson City would hold healthcare professionals responsible if they use artificial intelligence and someone is harmed. Afton Democrat Senator Doug Beck introduced the bill that would cover everything from diagnosis to treatment.
It can be used as a tool, and that's what we're hoping, but we also don't want it to take over diagnosis and all these other things.
Talking about AI there, under the proposal, plaintiffs would have 2 years to file an AI-related medical malpractice claim. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, for tonight, partly cloudy, low 22. For tomorrow, fast warm-up after a cold start, high 55. And for Wednesday, the high 53. Right now, 31 downtown. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here. I want to tell you about 213 Complex, and you can pick that up at supplement superstores. And quite simply, 213 Complex is the most effective and powerful all-natural weight loss supplement ever developed. Here's what it's doing for me and what it'll do for you. Boosts the metabolism, gets it working at full go all the time. Helps with cravings, and man, that's a big deal for me. All-day focus energy with no jitters, no crash at the end of the day. It's a great tool for achieving your goals. Get out to supplement superstores. Tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you in. They will knock 30% off your 213 Complex, and you can find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
Hey, it's Matt Paul. I want to tell you about my friends over at St. Louis Weight Loss Injections. I am a client. I hopped on the GLP-1 train here a couple weeks ago. Actually, today, Monday, each week you do an injection. Monday is my injection day, so just about 2 hours ago, I did my third one. And part of what I wanted to tell folks about, because I'm a bigger guy and I have a hard time losing weight. I'm somebody, I don't eat terribly unhealthy. I certainly work out every single day, and I just continue to have a hard time losing weight. So I was excited about the idea of getting a little bit of help, and I loved my experience going in and talking to the great folks at St. Louis Weight Loss Injections. They walked me through everything. They figured out I was the right candidate. If you're not the right candidate, they're not gonna do it for you. And it's totally safe, and it's just been a good experience so far. They'll tell some people that maybe you might get a little bit nauseous, things like that. I haven't had that experience at all. So if you've been thinking about doing the GLP-1, I would strongly urge you to talk to the folks at St. Louis Weight Loss Injections. You can get in at $199 for the first month, so very affordable. And just head to their website, give them a call, 636-244-5333, and they can talk to you through all your different options. Again, check out the website. That's stlweightlossinjections.com.
This is Megan Lynch. 250 doctors go to Ophthalmology Associates. That's why I trust them. Ophthalmology Associates, 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's best eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Race car drivers like NASCAR champion Jesse Love are a lot like commercial drivers. Pros, but even the best watch the tape to see what they missed and get better next time. The Samsara driving coach does the same for your fleet, giving drivers real-time feedback to build safer habits. Samsara's AI uses billions of miles of real driving data to help fleets prevent accidents and protect drivers.
If it makes me a better driver, it'll make your fleet unstoppable.
Because even champions need a coach. Learn more at samsara.com.
Larry Older here. You know, one of the most rewarding parts of sharing Relief Factor with you is hearing real stories like that of Sandra. She tells us, I've been hearing about Relief Factor on the radio for a couple of years, and I finally decided to try it because nothing else was helping my back pain. I know the feeling. With a 3-week quick start, she said, I went for it. Now I feel like a new person. That's Sandra's own words, and it's so gratifying to hear. I've told you about my brother Kirk having difficulty going up and down the stairs in the morning. He wouldn't listen to me. I told him to take Relief Factor. He finally did. Began moving better, feeling stronger. Too bad he didn't listen earlier. Try it for yourself. The 3-week quick start. And see how Relief Factor could be your game changer too. It is only $19.95. Think about it. Do the math. Less than $1 a day. So call 800-4RELIEF. That's 800, the number 4RELIEF, or go to relieffactor.com. All one word, relieffactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain? 800-4RELIEF, relieffactor.com.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Lose the weight or stop smoking. Guaranteed only $59.99. Saturday, March 7th at the Residence Inn by Marriott, St. Louis Westport in St. Louis. Weight loss hypnosis starts at 11 a.m. Registration at 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking starts at 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m.
Hey, Bernie Miklasz here on behalf of Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin Comfort dealer that's been taking care of St. Louis families continuously since 1927. Yes, my friends, that is correct. The Saliga family, 4 generations of them, have been taking care of St. Louis families for 100 years. And I smile every time I say that because I'm thinking, how great do you have to be to still be going strong 100 years after you opened the doors to the family business? Well, the Miklas's have been calling Saliga for about 18, 19 years for help with our air conditioning or our heating or indoor air quality, whatever the case may be. And I understand. We understand why they've lasted 100 years because we trust them entirely. Their knowledge, their professionalism, their class, when they come into your home, the way they work with you, never trying to hustle you, never trying to talk you into something. They take their time. They explain your options. And when you're talking to them, you know you can trust them because they're all about trust. That's how you last 100 years and build up a loyal clientele. I think they're fantastic at what they do, and they've got the track record to show it. So if you're not sure who to call, please give Saliga Heating and Cooling a shot. They will earn your trust, and you will be happy. To find out the phone number and all their list of services, just go to SaligaHeatingandCooling.com. Thank you.
Hola, amigos! Brad Evans here. Check out this booming voice and Pat Boyle on BetMGM tonight, covering the biggest sports stories from coast to coast, live and interactive on the free Odyssey app, discussing NFL offseason news and getting you ready for the madness in college hoops. BetMGM tonight with me, Brad Evans and Pat Boyle, live and interactive, Monday through Friday night, starting at 6 Eastern, presented by BetMGM. Always live on the free Odyssey app and watch on YouTube at BetMGM tonight.
I'm Dan Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, millions of people called us for representation. Why? Because trust grows when you win, and we've won a lot. Over $30 billion and counting. When you call America's largest injury law firm, you're calling a family. You're calling an army, our army. You're calling somebody who will fight for you. Injured? Let our family fight for your family. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Ethos.
Artificial intelligence may be spurring greater productivity in the U.S. economy, according to the Federal Reserve's San Francisco president, Mary Daly, who says that productivity gains could allow further growth without inflation, although adding it's hard to say how long that will continue. Daly also said that no technology ever reduces net employment, not in the history of technologies, but it does change what that employment looks like. I'm Jason Brooks.
As the owner, coach, and quarterback of your small business, you call the shots. From inventory to payroll and more. Now it's time to bring in LendSeek, your funding MVP. No delay of game here. Get up to $2 million in as fast as 24 hours for business lines of credit or term loans. Let LendSeek's AI marketplace assist you in making the winning play and score that touchdown. Apply at lendseek.com, LENDSEEK.com.
Zero Res wants to give your home the love and attention it deserves. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $119. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Book online at ZeroResSTL.com and mention the KMOX special.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, traffic continues to improve. Just some slowdowns out there, really, for the most part now. This traffic reports the service of S&L Coins. Northbound 170 is just a little slow past Airport Road. Westbound 70 is just a little slow at 61. Westbound 64, that's still off the pace from the Science Center out through McCausland. And then it's, again, a heavy approaching Prospect out onto that West 70 ramp. South 270, pretty much wide open. North 270 past Ladue, a little busy. South 55, barely a slowdown at Bates. Westbound 44 west of Kings Highway through Hampton, a little heavy. They just cleared a stall there recently. And just a little roadwork slowdown. Eastbound 64, east of 157, midway to 159. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
S&L Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call S&L. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. S&L Coin.
Now, back to the Redbird Rush Hour on KMOX.
It's Monday on Redbird Rush Hour. Matt Pauley is down in Jupiter. Bernie Miklasz, Kevin Wheeler with you here back in St. Louis. Let's talk about 2 of the kids. Obviously, one, J.J. Weatherholt, is very likely to be with the team on opening day. I guess probably the easiest way to put it without getting too detailed. And Raniel Rodriguez will not be. But both of them are worthy topics today. And Matt, you can give us a little bit on Weatherholt and what you saw today and what we've seen over the weekend. And obviously, Bernie, you have a great video on STL Sports Central today. I know you gave us a teaser on it on DGS today, too, about the excitement about Raniel Rodriguez. So let's just go in that order. Let's do a little Weatherholt and Rodriguez talk here.
Yeah, so for Weatherholt today, it was kind of an interesting day for him. Defensively, he's had a couple miscues here in the early parts of spring, which I don't think is the end of the world. He was able to draw a couple walks today. He made a bit of a base running mistake after one of the walks where he got thrown out at third. Oliver Marmol told us after the game that he had kind of explained what he was seeing. He thought there was going to be a play at the plate, so that's why he tried to take third, and the ball got cut. But then he got real aggressive on the bases in a later inning where he was able to steal second. So it's just it's a lot of stuff right now from J.J. Weatherholt, and whether it's good or bad, it's fun to watch because we're watching a person who's so important to the future of the Cardinals.
I like the fact he's taking walks.
Yeah.
You know, that I know that's like a so what type of thing, but I'm going to appreciate that aspect to his game because the Cardinals last year, we all put a lot of emphasis on the lack of power, and rightfully so. That team did not draw a lot of walks. They had one of the worst on base percentages in the National League. And give me a guy, if he's not at the top of the lineup, he's close to it, that is going to take walks and he's going to make pitchers throw strikes. He's not going to get himself out. He's got great plate discipline. He's a really, really smart hitter. I mean, that dude can walk 100 times if he wants. I'll be happy with that. So I can't wait to watch him play every day. You know, and then we'll see how quick he gets to where he wants to go in terms of reaching a expected level of offense. It might take him a little longer than people think. That's okay. He doesn't have to be a superstar from the beginning, but I think he's going to be a really good hitter before long in the major leagues.
Yeah, I agree. And I saw the mistake today. It was a throwing error today. So he was playing up the middle against a right-handed hitter, and it was a ball that was a rocket ground ball up the middle, and he palmed it a little bit. So it popped out of his glove, and the mistake was making the throw because he didn't really have a play, but he made a throw. And then the finish of that play, I'll be clear, Wilson Contreras probably knocks that ball down. I mean, I thought Burleson got caught in between trying to catch it and come off the bag to go get it. Doesn't defend the bad decision. That it was a bad decision on the throw. But it might have looked a little bit better if somebody somebody played it a little better on the other side. I can live with the errors, though, guys. I'm not going to worry about that. I know defense matters to this team, but I'm not sure it should be the number one priority when you're talking about breaking in a top prospect. If he makes some mistakes, it's okay. Work on him. Get better at it. Let the bat play and give him his experience.
And I do think he's got the work ethic. I think he takes pride in his defense, right? Yeah. That's been my impression, all the reports about him. He wants to be good defensively.
Yeah. Go make mistakes in spring so you can go have conversations about what led to the mistake and you can fix the things. Like that's I know it's weird to say, but mistakes are good. Go make mistakes.
You're not wrong.
They can be fixed.
No, you're not wrong. Yeah. Today's mistakes from Weatherholt were mistakes of aggression. Making that throw was a mistake of aggression. He didn't need to make it. He shouldn't have made it, but he was being aggressive. The base running play was an aggressive play. At first, I actually thought he did it on purpose because you have a slow runner in Burleson trying to score. So if you go and they cut and come get you, the runner's definitely going to score. Now, it sounds like Ollie didn't describe that, but either way, it's an aggressive move and not a passive move.
Yeah, they have all this instruction available now. The Cardinals are now an organization of instruction. Go instruct. See some, and that's what I've seen a lot of. Not to like change the subject on you guys, but just very quickly. Good. I have never seen a camp before where they are more comfortable stopping drills when they see something and talking about it. It's because it's a machine, right? Like spring training is just a machine. It just goes, it goes, it goes, and there's drills and lines and everybody's stepping forward. It's like that credit card commercial where somebody uses cash and like everybody bumps into each other. Yeah. That's what it feels like when they stop. But they stop and they talk through things. There's a lot of instruction going on. It's very good to see.
You know, it's interesting because for all this time, I mean, Bernie, the amount of time you've been covering the Cardinals, for me, it's been since 2006. Matt, if you've been here for years and you knew the team before that, we're not used to a team that's in instruction mode as opposed to contention mode. But this is what's happening in a lot of organizations every spring. And this is it kind of looks like college stuff to what you're describing, because that's how it was with us. In college, we would just stop. And we would go over things when there were mistakes, and we would, do individual things on the side as well. That's part of the rebuild. That's part of it. It's more instruction and less about expectation.
And it's one of listen, I love this and it's overdue. And I don't know why anybody, would be against it, even if you're a player in camp or whatever. because the whole point is to try to get better and set a template about how you want the game played, what you don't do, things like that. This is one of the benefits of a rebuild. It's one of the benefits of having a very, very, very young team, because Matt Pauley, correct me if I'm wrong, and you can tell me, no, I think you're overstating it. I'm not going to get ticked off at you, because if you tell the truth, you tell the truth. This is a kind of camp you couldn't have with guys like Goldschmidt and Arenado in there. You just couldn't.
100%. 100%.
Or a veteran catcher that had been around a long time, or a veteran here, veteran there, veteran outfielders. You can't have the kind of camp like that, because they would complain. And one thing about Ollie, I know that Wheels and I agree. I think you do to an extent, Matt. I think Ollie gets a lot of stupid criticism, but there's a couple things about Ollie that bugs me, and I think he's got to get to the point where he does not defer to veterans, because these guys are going to grow up, and he's still going to be the manager. You got to do what's right for your team. If a veteran's, crabbing at you, who cares? Okay, he's getting paid. Be a member of the team. That's why the whole leadership thing, fans have it different. They got this thing upside down, because what they assumed was great leadership wasn't. So then there's we got to have guys like that. No, actually, you got to let this generation take ownership of this. That's my opinion anyway.
And I can't expound on this, but I heard something today that led me to, so I'm going to explain kind of where my belief is. I'm going to be watching this.
Sure.
I think more so than ever before, Ollie is taking ownership of what's going on. That is Ollie's clubhouse.
Right.
That's not anybody else's clubhouse. That is Oliver Marmol's clubhouse. And I don't think we could say that in previous years.
Right.
I've just heard a thing or two lately that makes me think that that's a shift for this season.
No, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That's great to hear, and it has to happen. And this is his opportunity, because he's got a great relationship with Chaim Bloom. They're simpatico. They're on the same page. Bloom. I mean, Marmol knows what Bloom expects, because front offices, despite what, we always live in 1964 here in our beautiful baseball town. Despite what a lot of people think, in today's baseball, the front office and the manager and the coaches, it's a collaborative effort. They work together. They make decisions jointly. Ultimately, it goes to the manager. But when they suss it all out, they have an understanding of what's best for the team about a lineup or a matchup or this or that. So Ollie, for the first time, can become that type of manager, and I think it's really good. And yet, it's funny, of Nick Jensen 13, Molina's in waiting to be the manager. Listen, I'm just going to give you all some advice, because I love you, even though you annoy the hell out of me sometimes, right? Let me give you some advice, okay? Quit tormenting yourself. That's not going to happen, okay? Not going to happen. So you just keep sitting there, looking out the window, waiting for Yachty to drive by, like in this red convertible on his way to becoming the manager. Not going to happen. Okay. So I want you to quit again, just living in this dream world where you expect something's going to happen that's not going to happen.
That's Bernie Miklasz. Matt Pauley's down in Jupiter. I'm Kevin Wheeler. Stick around. We'll wrap up Redbird Rush Hour with a little talk about Rainier Rodriguez next on KMOX.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, we're looking great on the highways. In fact, the only interstate that has delays right now is 64, westbound 64. You're on the brakes briefly at Hampton, but it's just kind of slow from Hampton out through to about Big Bend. Opens up by the time you get there, and then it's slow again from Lake St. Louis Boulevard out to Highway 70. Other than that, there's a little bit of a slowdown eastbound 64, east of 157 briefly. It's not even midway up the hill to 159, but the rest of the highways pretty much back on track for you on both sides of the river right now. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
For 100 years, KMOX has been a part of St. Louis. Now, those moments live on, preserved, remastered, and ready to be heard again. Discover KMOX from the Archives, a podcast featuring classic audio from a century of service.
Sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original.
The KMOX from the Archives podcast, available now at KMOX100.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, Bernie Miklasz here. I want to tell you about my friend Stuart Rosenblum, and please call him Stewie. He is proud to own and operate one of the in my opinion, most customer-friendly mortgage companies in St. Louis and Illinois. The name is Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. You may have heard of it, but I'm going to tell you about it. Stewie is truly unique because he gives his personal cell phone number to all of his customers. I'm laughing because I love the fact that he does this. All of his customers and anyone who wants to learn more about how he can help, his customer service is not only exceptional, it is personal. You can call him on his cell phone, 314-324-4440. And you won't have to wait on hold wondering if anyone's ever going to pick up. You get right through to Stewie, and he'll get that help to you right away and answer your question and explain everything. The biggest difference with Stewart's American Mortgage, you pay less. That's because Stewart's the only lender to offer the bagel loan. It's called the bagel loan because it looks like a zero, the middle of the bagel there, the zero. You pay zero in fees that other dealers charge for. When you refinance, and it's a great time to do that now, you pay no appraisal fees, no closing costs, no title fees, no broker fees, zero. And when you buy a home and you take out a loan for $200,000 or more, you pay zero lender fees. You picking up on this? The bagel loan, zero. So they'll take great care of you, and they can close your loan in little 10 days compared to 3 or 4 weeks at other places. So to find out more about Stewart's American Mortgage, just Google bagel loan or call Stewie directly at 314-324-4440. Thank you.
Bernie Miklasz on KMOX is sponsored by Stewart's American Mortgage, home of the bagel loan, and by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin comfort dealer. Now, back to the Redbird Rush Hour on KMOX.
All right, just a few minutes left, boys, as we get ready to wrap up Redbird Rush Hour. Billiken's Coaches Show after the top of the hour. Sports Open Line following that at 7 o'clock. Bern, you had a great video today. They're always great, but this one you brought up, you gave us a little tease on DGS, your video on STL Sports Central about Raniel Rodriguez. So just give everybody a little tease so they go watch the rest of the video, because when you said it on DGS, I was like pumping my fist because I couldn't agree more.
You know, I've been talking about Raniel Rodriguez for quite a while now because I shifted my attention to prospects because that's going to be the most important thing the Cardinals do. And he's really an exciting prospect. I'm not sure that at the end of the careers of, that Rodriguez won't be like the top young player they have, like based on the guys they have now. I'll take him and Weatherholt being great. Don't get me wrong, but Rodriguez is potentially very, very special. And all you got to do is look at the where he's rated at age 19. He's a teenager, and he's in the top 25, top 30 of all of baseball in terms of prospects. But what I loved was just seeing him in his first at bat. I don't care if it's spring training, first at bat as a Cardinal. He takes 2 pitches, doesn't chase sinkers out of the zone. And it's almost like he set up and say, okay, now you have to come to me. All right, come on, bring it. And boom, hits a tough, lines a double, 107 miles an hour, just about. And I'm thinking, well, what a way to introduce yourself to Cardinals fans. It's like, hey, they've heard about you. There's a lot of talk. There's a lot of hype, but there's just a lot of excitement, and people can see it with their own eyes. And I was excited. And I said in the, see, this is the exciting thing about rebuilding. Just seeing guys in front of you that you see, yeah, that's talent right there. And all the independent talent evaluators who cover prospects, they all agree. They just rave about Raniel Rodriguez. So I was joking with the people that watch my videos, and I said, you can tell me to calm down, and you're probably right. Okay, you're right. I probably need to calm down about Raniel Rodriguez. But if you're going to tell me, Bernie, don't get excited. No, actually, yeah, I'm going to get excited.
Yeah.
Because I'm watching, for how many years now have we watched an offense that's basically DOA? A bat like this shows up, and he's probably going to be here sooner than later. I'm going to get excited, and I'm not going to apologize for that, even though it's spring training. I said in the video, he got me to break one of my long-standing rules. Don't get excited about spring training stuff. Well, with him, I'll make an exception.
He was so much fun to watch the other day. That bat speed is real. Look, when pitchers start having an approach against him, he's still 19 years old.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not something that he's ready right now. But just to see him in that small sample size was fun. Same thing with what we're seeing from Joshua Baez. This dude swings hard, man. His helmet falls off sometimes when he's swinging. Like it's this young, youthful, like exciting energy, and it's really cool.
Absolutely. And that's what it's all about for this year. And we'll have more on those guys as the season goes along, and obviously more on the day-to-day as we continue on. Boys, have a great night. Obviously, we got the Billikens Coaches Show after the news. Matt Pauley's got Sports Open Line for an hour after that. So more on what we saw today coming your way here on your home for the Cardinals, KMOX.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of